There's a reason I said last weekend that the College World Series is not won on May the 17th. It is won in June. Tennessee baseball takes care of Alabama. Tennessee baseball takes care of the Horns, baby. Let's go. 7-5, big win. Tennessee's moving on to the semifinals of the SEC Conference Tournament. You guys know I'm normally kind of hit or miss on it, but I don't know. I come into this one, especially when we saw Alabama. I don't ever want to lose to Alabama. You get to that point, I don't want to lose Texas. I think we locked up home field. I think we locked up a regional today. But we'll see on that one. 61 in here, and we'll let Kerry talk here in just a minute. Make sure you hit the like, the share. 5 away from 4,000. 5 till 4,000. If you're a returner, you like the content, hit that subscribe button as well. Let me go ahead and get to this one. Out of the Woods. Out of the Woods has got a cool YouTube channel as well. Make sure you guys check out Out of the Woods. Do a lot of cool things as well. For $20, says great win. Thank you so much, Out of the Woods. Really appreciate your generosity on this one. Man, we got a lot to talk about on this one today, Kerry.
Yeah, we do.
What's your opening thoughts on this one? Or what's your overall thoughts? And we can get more into this one as we go.
I mean, I'd say what a game. Like, that's just it was amazing. You started out, you're like, Liam Doole's on the mound. Okay, they got a guy that's barely even pitched that's pitching. And it's like, okay, Tennessee's going to be in a good position here. Then I saw how he was pitching the ball. Then I got immediately nervous because that's typically how it goes. I mean, it was a great decision by them to have us play the way we did yesterday, swinging the bats really hot, and then throw a guy that's just totally not normal from the left side, left edge of the mound, and he's not touching 87. So it's a unique viewpoint from the batter's box, and we struggled with it mightily. Liam Doole, I feel like the blister's still an issue for him. There's something going on with the finger. The blister still may not be there, but there's definitely still something going on there. But they got him out of there early, gave up 4 runs. It was 4-0. Twitter was in full meltdown mode. I mean, everything I saw was everybody was already giving up on things. And then I was like, we aren't even in the top of the 5th yet. Then the top of the 5th comes, and you get them out. You get that guy out of the game. They go to the bullpen. You get a huge break. I mean, just a massive break. First off, you get the delay, the umpire delay, which was worked out in Tennessee's favor, which I thought would do the opposite. But you get the ground ball to the shortstop, and he just totally fumbles it. And then Peebles comes up and gets a blue pit, and it's 2-4 at that point. And then you get 2 more the next inning. I would, of course, like to see more runs across the plate in those situations, but I mean, I'll take it. We had a tie game 4-4. And I would say the biggest thing going on after that is the fact that Arvidsson came in and he was doors. I mean, just huge out of nowhere. And I'll be the first to say he should not have ran back out in the 10th inning, but you aren't in that game without him. So it was huge to see him have that. I mean, he would have played for Coach Sloss at Texas A&M because he played for the Aggies before he went to JUCO, and now he's here, of course. But huge for him, and you could tell that meant a lot to him. I mean, because he's from Texas himself. So that was huge to see from him. That'll be huge going next week because I doubt you see him again the rest of the week. Maybe not even probably on Sunday, even if you make it that far. But just great to see that from him. And then their 2 best guys, Grubbs and Volantis. I mean, you got both of them. I mean, Grubbs, Keelan got the home run in the top of the 10th and ended up chasing him out of the game. And then Volantis, I mean, he gave up the 2 runs there, and it was the bottom of the lineup that did it. I mean, it was Clark and then Peebles, Manny with the huge bunt, and then Keelan came up and made him pay. And it was lefty on lefty in that situation. So that's huge because that's a guy that was, I think they said that, I know he's got like a 1-point-something ERA, but they're only batting like 160 against him. So he essentially does have better numbers than Liam Doole, but just nowhere near the sample size. But overall, great win. That was classic Tennessee baseball right there. That's first time we've won back-to-back SEC games since what? Alabama?
That's I'm trying to think. Was it?
Because I don't. Ole Miss.
It may have been.
Ole Miss
South
was Friday,
Carolina.
Sunday.
No, we didn't
South
win
Carolina
2 in a row against Ole Miss.
Yeah, it wasn't Ole Miss because it was Friday.
Might have been Ole Miss. I'm trying to think.
It had to have been in South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did it go Florida, Alabama, South Carolina?
Yeah, I think South Carolina was the best one.
Sorry, my dog's over here digging like a maniac right now. I had to mute myself, and he listened real well. But kind of like you back when I had you in 7th grade. But, that's – but, yeah, man, so much. Let me hit some comments here tonight. Kerry Carson, somewhat brother of Kerry Williams here, says go Big Orange.
Long lost cousin.
David, what's up, my man? Member of the channel says, woo, woo. How about them Vols? And he said, let's go Frank out of the woods earlier on. Now, that was a fun game. That was a fun game to watch. I listened to part of it early, and then I picked up the good part. I mean, we were down 4-0 when I was listening to it, and then I picked it up. Yeah, boy, Zeus says, let's go Vols, coming alive at the right time. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I said last weekend, man, I thought we did some good things against Arkansas, but, just didn't finish the deal. We've done some good. There's two things I'm going to touch on that I love. Kerry's touched on one of them already. Two things the last 2 days, man, that could be huge for this team moving forward. Reed says, hello, win column. What, 43rd time this year, if I'm not mistaken?
It should be 43. Let me see. I already posted it.
Your boy says, come on, Frank, finish your Pepsi. Enjoy the win with us. We were a little bit going. That's a good one. Bubbles says Tennessee is the real UT. This is big, man, because we played. Now, my memory of playing Texas is kind of more recent, but when we got to the College World Series in 21, we got eliminated by Texas.
Yeah.
In 2022, when we went down to Houston, the first game of that series, Chase Burns pitched it, was against Texas, and we got beat as well. So, I mean, pretty good win. Pretty good to beat them because Texas is one of your most traditional powerhouses in college baseball. I think it's a huge win for this program. I think it's one they needed.
Oh, yeah.
Because Texas is going to have a say-so down the stretch.
Yeah.
They're a hell of a team.
Yeah.
No
their pitching staff is
to them. We played good. We had really good things happen today. And, yep, ball fans, man, that stuck in there. David says, welcome, Kerry. Gives you a fist bump on that one. Brandon Arvidsson was absolutely amazing today.
Yeah.
He was. Brandon Arvidsson, that would have been a cruel world, which it can be. It would have been such a cruel ending if Brandon Arvidsson would have taken that loss today. And I'm like you, I would not have brought him back out that last inning. But at the same time, I get it. He's rolling. But after the inning before, the bottom of the ninth, where that dude fouled off that pitch that we thought might have been a bomb when it was hit.
I love Chapman on that play. Chapman on that play is like he's pointing at foul. That was funny.
Yeah. I wouldn't have brought him back out. I thought Snead was ready. Snead looked good today. We're matched up with who? Vanderbilt, Oklahoma winner?
Yes.
I want Vanderbilt.
Yeah. This would be Oklahoma's third day in a row pitching. So Vanderbilt's definitely got the upper hand tonight.
Yeah. And we would probably see Bowker, I would imagine, again. We just saw him a couple weekends ago. Because I would think, or I wonder if they saved their ace. I can't remember his name now. But I wonder if they save him for Saturday. Because Tennessee will not play tomorrow. They will play Saturday on this one. Well-deserved rest. It'll be Coons on Saturday. And we need Coons to come out and do his thing. But, at the same time, we need the defense to back him up.
Yeah.
Also, we need all of it to come around. The Curly we saw today in the field is the Curly we need. He did a good job today. Defense was good today. The pickoffs were the problem.
Yeah,
it wasn't the defense on it. Man, it ended up not being an issue, but hopefully Keelan learns after that one tonight. He's not in Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Yeah.
That was a bomb in Lindsey Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
I was like shocked when he was not on third base. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening? Then when they showed the replay. But that was that dude's first loss tonight.
That does.
Freshman of the year in the SEC. They built him up, like you said, under 2. He's now at 2.28 ERA. That's pretty good stuff, man. Pretty good stuff. What? Obviously, we liked Arvidsson today. What did you think of Doyle? You talked about Doyle, though. You think the blister is a big deal right now? Bigger deal than being led on?
It was, to me, today was a combination of like the blister, the moment after what happened last week, him pitching back on that mound again, because he sent Ole Miss home I think it must have been last year, but he sent Ole Miss home. He came in like the 9th inning or 10th inning. He gave up a walk-off home run against Mississippi State on that mound. So it does mean a little bit extra to him pitching on that mound again. And with all the scouts there, I guess he still felt like he had something to prove, even though he's already a top 5 pick. So I think he was a little bit too hyped up. I mean, he hit 100 like in the game, and he was sitting at 99. So you could tell there was something there. And he wasn't really controlling that either, which was kind of expected whenever you're juiced up like that. But whenever he did drop it down to like 96, 97, he had more control of it. He just got a bad break there in the 4th inning. That was kind of a baseball kind of thing of you're pitching pretty decently okay. They just get one and they bounce one off the wall and they get 3 runs out of it. So it was kind of disappointing because they kind of just hit singles up to that point. Nothing really crazy hard. And then they hit the one off the wall and then they chased them. He definitely could have pitched further into that game. There's no doubt about it. He was only at like 78 pitches, but he had only thrown 75 because 3 of them were the pitch clock thing. So he definitely could have went more, but I think that Tony had kind of saw enough at that point. So you still won't see him the rest of the week, no matter what. But that is a good thing because he'll have more rest going into the next week. And the good thing is you essentially immediately erased like the 4-0 deficit that he kind of gave you by the 6th inning. So it was good that he was already in the clear, sitting in the dugout watching and knowing he isn't going to take the loss if we would have somehow lost that game.
Yeah, I agree on you. It's good we backed him up. Did Brandon Arvidsson today have the performance of the year?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's just one of those things. He pitched 2 innings, and after he was 2.1 innings, I was already kind of like, okay, great job, Brandon. Like, thank you. Like, I was expecting the next guy to come in. He comes out for the 3rd inning. I'm like, okay, I can see it. And then he come out the 4th inning. I was kind of like, okay, I can kind of understand this. He's in a groove. But then he came in after that, or that must have been the 9th or the 10th. But he definitely got pushed a little too far. I mean, the most he's probably thrown all season, like even in the bullpen, it's probably like 50 pitches, and he was up at 80. So Tony kind of pushed his luck there. I don't hate the decision to run him back out there in the 10th. I don't like it either. But then again, you are not in that game. Like if it wasn't for him, and you can't like be mad at him or be upset or put any kind of fault on him because of that, even though he did have that error. I mean, the dude was exhausted. You could tell in the 9th inning he was exhausted. I think Tony will probably address that right now in the press conference of he did make the wrong decision there to put him back out in the 10th, even though he probably shouldn't have. But I'm sure Brandon might have said a thing or two because there's a lot on the line there for Brandon, considering he's from Texas, played for Coach Sloss at Texas A&M. He would hate Texas just because he played at Texas A&M. So there was a lot on the line for him, and he proved it. I mean, he did a fantastic job. I mean, he's been a guy I've been on here on this channel, on this live show, and I've said needs to do more. And he got paid today. Like he definitely absolutely got paid today. All those scouts over there and saw that 84-mile-per-hour sweeper that just disappears, and then a 96-mile-an-hour fastball just right down the heart, and it was swing and miss after swing and miss. That was the only time this season I've watched Tennessee baseball and I've seen a guy in a groove on the mound that's not Liam Doyle. And I can't even think of any other performance that comes close to that. So that is definitely the performance of the year from anyone outside of Liam Doyle.
Phillips and Coons have had some grooves too, though. I mean,
But
Phillips,
the moment was like, I mean, 8
yeah,
strikeouts or whatever. He had the 8 strikeouts. It was just swing and miss after swing and miss is my thing. And in the moment, that was huge because I felt like we were getting in and out of the inning. Like it was going to be a 1, 2, 3 inning each time he came out there. And I haven't really felt like that in some big situations throughout the year.
not in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And his stock went up, way up
Oh,
today.
yeah.
And you talk about him hating Texas. He was signed with Texas.
Yeah.
And then Schlossnagel come in and he got out of it and came to Tennessee. And I'm like you, man. He's a guy that I've been wanting more out of this year. It's like you'll see it. 1 inning, dude's just on fire. And then the biggest thing with him is walks. And that's been his trouble. His line today, let me pull it back up here. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, faced 21 batters, 2 flyouts, 5 groundouts, 85 total pitches, easily the most he's thrown all year, 60 strikes. ERA, which was at one point pushing 5, is now down to 3.16.
Wow.
This dude has pitched his ass off the last 2 weekends. He's getting in a groove right now. And based on what we saw yesterday with A.J. Russell going, was it 78 also? Or am I high on that? It was definitely
it was 78, I'm pretty sure.
Now, Arvidsson, if these 2 guys keep doing this is game changer.
Yeah, that's huge.
This is game changer for this team. Now what you need is, though, Phillips. I mean, I feel like the last 2 weeks, he's done his job. He has managed the run game, which has really been his problem. It's not been his throwing the whole time. Doyle has not had it really the last 2 weeks. Now we need Coons to get back to where he was, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina. That's what we need from him because he's got the talent. All right. It's, he was good at Auburn, against Auburn. He was good against Vanderbilt, and they pulled him. And then last week in Arkansas, he was doing fine. Then you had the pick, that whole debacle with the pick off. Then you had the Curly error, and everything just went off the rails on that. Probably hard for a guy to stay focused when you think you've done a good pick move, and then a dude boots one right through his legs on that. I mean, I don't think you could, it is what it is. That's what we need. Franklin has had a couple pretty good outings in a row. Lloyd the same. Sneed getting better. Maybe we're starting to hit a little bit now. Maybe this team is starting to hit its stride again. And the encouraging thing to me was they did it against Alabama. You did it against the SEC champion today. And where you were like, we've talked about it. We're down 4-0. You come back and won that baseball game. I want Vanderbilt. On Saturday. And especially, I'll tell you what, any Tennessee player in that dugout, if you get Vanderbilt on Saturday that doesn't come out fired up, you don't need to wear that uniform and you don't have a hair on your ass after and I had no problem with it. I have no problem with Vanderbilt talking trash walking off the field 2 weekends ago. I had no issue with it. But if those guys don't come fired up Saturday, if or when they play Vanderbilt, they don't need to be over in that dugout. And that includes 1 through 9 in the lineup. That includes your starting pitcher. That includes your bullpen. Every dude, if you get Vanderbilt again, better come out amped up. Don't worry about anything else because that's the last thing. It's like last year. We were, Vanderbilt got us first game of the tournament. Was that right?
Yeah. Then we won against.
Last laugh on them.
Yeah, we won against Mississippi State. The Mississippi State game kind of tweaked something in it. There was some back and forth in that game. Tony got into it, or almost. No, the other coach got into it with Tony, and Tony just gave him the cold shoulder. But then you played Vanderbilt the next day, and you weren't going to get beat 2 times by Vanderbilt. Like, that just isn't how it's going to go. So they kind of flipped the switch, beat Vanderbilt. You're 2-1 on the week. Might as well just go win the thing, and that's exactly what we did.
I mean, that's where I'm at right now. Let's go win the thing this weekend. Yeah. Let's do it. I mean, it's like this too. I mean, what I thought was funny last year in that one too, Mississippi State set something off. The Tennessee players got fired up.
Yeah.
Vitello got fired up. And then it showed the post-game Sneed's out there and Tony's just beating him on the chest. And you saw the players around laughing. I would have loved to have been a fly on somebody's shoulder in that huddle to hear what was said, because they were laughing and then they were celebrating. It was like, that changed everything. Not that anything was going bad by any means.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good. Every guy that comes out this weekend, you get the last laugh on Vanderbilt. You go 2-2 and you split the season series. I think this one means something this week. Not that the other ones didn't, but at this point, if you're Tennessee, every game matters. Every game matters, because you need to build that confidence back to where you were. And I think right now this team is starting to feel it a little bit again. Mason Guest says, how about them Vols? Member of the channel, said getting hot at the right time. Colton McVeigh, who pitches Saturday, I think it's got to be Coons. It has to be, because Vitello's already made mention he wants to get Coons and Krenzel some SEC tournament experience. So
Krenzel already pitched, though. But he'll pitch
right.
Again
But he made that specific mention of, I want to get those 2 guys experience. Krenzel has experience. Krenzel went out to the bullpen again tonight. It's going to be Coons on Saturday, because Russell, I think, is done for the weekend. Arvidsson's done for the weekend. I don't see him bringing Phillips back on it. So I think they'll roll. So you've still got Coons available. You're going to have Tanner Franklin, who's not pitched this weekend. Yep. Loy and Sneed. Sneed threw 41 tonight. Sneed he could pitch every day.
He could.
He's good. And then where do you go after that? Who am I forgetting? Do you go Sharman or Breed? I would think if you get to Sunday, it's got to be Sharman, though, right?
Yeah, I would think you save Sharman in case you need a starter on Sunday, because that's literally the only possible option that I can think of. Unless Tony has somebody on the roster that I'm not seeing. But I would assume that Sharman gets his start, and I would assume Breedlove comes into play somewhere. But you still, thankfully, you still have Loy that can go a bunch of innings, even though he hasn't in a few weeks. Franklin can give you something. He's kind of hit or miss. Hopefully, whatever Sneed did today kind of wears off on Franklin. And then that's kind of about it, other than Krenzel and Coons that I can think of. So you don't have a plethora of options. You just got to get it done, and you got to get it done at the plate. You just got to score some runs and just kind of survive. Because I do feel like we're in a good position now. If you can get late in the game, you have guys you can turn the ball over to who have pitched in those situations before. They just got to get it done. And just like Big Red said, Binky's there too. But Binky hasn't been the most reliable this season, even though we kind of expected him to be.
I'd go to him if I had to, just to
I would definitely go to
test it out. I mean, it is what it is. So last back-to-back SEC wins in a weekend with South Carolina. If you want to be technical about it, their last back-to-back was the Sunday of Ole Miss and the Friday of Kentucky. They won those 2. But I mean,
I don't count
do we want to get that technical?
No.
On a weekend, but for sure, South Carolina was because they went Florida, swept, lost on Friday against Alabama, they lost on Thursday, won Friday, Saturday. And then South Carolina, they swept them. Then that's when things started to go a little bit south on it. But I mean, people said, well, why do you think? Because I've said I think we'll be fine when we get to regionals. And people's like, how do you expect them to win 2 in a row? We're not playing SEC in regionals. We might in super regionals. But, I mean, all the pairings have been, it started off West Virginia, then it's Georgia Tech. I'll take Tennessee in any of those regionals over any ACC team, over any Big 12 team or whatever. But I think now you get a host out of it. Yes, sir, Mr. Williams.
Just like 7th grade math class. Kendall Rogers said that Tennessee just jumped up 9 spots in the RPI. So we're at number 9 now. So if Tennessee isn't hosting at this point, then there's something wrong.
If you got a number 9 RPI, you got to host.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And that puts them to possibly you're not paired again with Texas, for instance, or Arkansas. You're more up middle of the pack. So that could pair you with ACC, which, I mean, we saw it 2 years ago in 2023. We got a good draw going to Clemson. Yeah, it was a bullshit draw because we shouldn't have really been – we weren't that low to be paired with them because they were, number 4 overall?
Yeah, it was a screw both ways. That's what that was.
Yeah. But then Southern Miss beats Auburn.
Yep.
And so that whole debate on who hosted it went to Southern Miss, but still yet it was Tennessee has normally, I mean, going back, I mean, I know College World Series 2021, let's say they played Virginia and Texas, didn't go too well that year. 2022, Notre Dame put them out. 2023, LSU got them both times in the College World Series. And then last year, their only loss, well, they lost to Evansville, but then the College World Series, they lost one game to Texas A&M. But you move up that far, that's going to get you a better home draw, which is in turn going to, who knows, that, again, that takes you out of Texas and Arkansas on the road, and even LSU, I think, if you get up closer to that high. That's what I thought. I know people, I've seen some of them say, well, this team probably has to win the SEC championship or get to the finals to host. You can't sit here and tell me that beating Alabama and Texas doesn't put you in that.
Yeah, I don't see why it doesn't.
No, I mean, if Texas is still considered number 1 overall, here's the bottom line. If this team does lose on Saturday, and then Selection Monday comes out, and they're on the road for the regionals, that goes to tell you the SEC tournament means absolutely nothing.
Yep.
If we're going to continue to have these things, they have to still have implications on it. And, you know, everybody, most of your publications like to use D1 baseball. If we're going by D1 baseball, that puts them up pretty high. That puts them easily hosting, in my opinion. That may get you ETSU in your bracket too, which could be interesting. But
that would be
ETSU's got to win their tournament here in Greenville this week too.
And they don't start playing until tomorrow, like ETSU.
Right. Because they come down to what last weekend, them in the Citadel on it. And that's a tough one. I mean, I have a certification through ETSU. It's the home team. 2 kids I coach play for the Citadel, so that was a little bit kind of a tough one, even though I was for ETSU. But I'm pretty far behind, but I was going through some things. JL, member of the channel, says, thumbs up, boys and girls. Big Red says Arvidsson should get 80% of the credit. At least. I mean, Keelan stepped up late. That was big tonight. Had the home run and then had that double. That was huge. This team's come together the last 2 games. They were talking about on the telecast how his team got off the bus and looked like they were dialed in. I've not been one of those that's given up on Curly, and I know where we're at on it. But it's like Tony Vitello said it last night. He said, we're riding with him. What did he say? Ride or die.
Yep.
That's where we're going with him. Yes, I think Tennessee's definitely hosting at this point. They've definitely got a regional on it. JL says they should host regional. Douglas Graham, another member of the channel, said really gritty win. Let's see here. If we win Saturday, I mean, unless Sharman pitches Saturday, which I doubt it, I would say Sharman probably starts Sunday. I think they've been amping him up to do that. Banky's available. 18 wins the SEC RP of 9. You should host. You should definitely host at that point. I totally agree on that one. What's your thoughts on the offense through the first 2 games?
I mean, yesterday was better than you could ever imagine. Like, that was by far the best performance of the season. Yesterday's offensive production was essentially perfect in baseball terms. Like, everybody in the lineup got a hit. So yesterday was just everything you could have ever asked for. Today was shaky to start. It was definitely nerve-wracking. Considering you letting a walk-on lefty essentially dice you up, but that's kind of just how baseball goes. Unfortunately, it's a weird game like that. And it was worrisome. It was like, okay, Tennessee had 20 hits yesterday, and here we are through 4 innings, and we had 0. So it was kind of concerning. But after that, they kind of got – once we got a few barrels on the ball and they actually landed, things kind of got heated up. I don't think we either had like 9 or 10 hits today, so nothing like crazy, but we had more runs than the other team, so that's essentially all that matters. It was good to see Keelan. Like, that was huge to see Keelan truly step up in a moment when we really have needed him to. He's gotten some huge hits throughout the season, but nothing has even come close to what he did today because he came through twice for you. He came through in the 10th and in the 12th. The home run was huge. That's only his 4th home run in SEC play that if I'm not mistaken. It's either his 3rd or his 4th. So he hasn't hit really a long ball in a long time in SEC play. I do understand that he was injured and everything, but it's been a long time since he's seen one fly out of the park. So, and then he comes through again. Thanks, he hits another home run. Thankfully, it bounced off the glove. In a situation of if the hamstring is perfectly okay and he's not kind of pumping the long ball on that one, that's a very much potential triple at least. That could have been inside the park.
Yeah.
The way that it bounced, and it continued to roll like 15 feet away. So you were in a good position there to essentially add in an extra run. That was my thing. Whenever I saw it bounce off the center fielder and start taking off past the right fielder, I was like inside the Parker. And then a minute later, I see he's standing on second base. So I wasn't too happy about that, but he came through, so you can't be too mad at him. He came through twice actually, so that was huge for him. Hopefully that sparks him even more than what it already has. Because if you have him playing like that and you have Fisher and Inslee right behind it, Bargo will continue to come through in spots when you need him to. It's definitely Tennessee's a lot more dangerous lineup. And they did that today against 2 of the best pitchers in the SEC, like the Grubbs kid the Grubbs kid for Texas. He's good. He was 6-1 on the season, I'm pretty sure, and he had like a 2-point-something ERA. So that kid's just as nasty. He's a closer on any other team. And then Volantis, the SEC Freshman of the Year, who could have been SEC Pitcher of the Year if it wasn't for Liam Dole. Like, he'd been in the conversation for it, especially if he was a starter, just considering his numbers are so good. So that's doing that against 2 absolutely amazing pitchers that'll definitely be seeing playing time in the big leagues.
Glad to see Kid. I have not seen this yet, but Kyle said Keelan said he thought the last one was going off the scoreboard. Said it humbled him a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, it happens. He's not the first it's happened to, and he won't be the last on it. I laughed at Chris Burke on there saying, "Oh, that might concern you about his whatever his injury or whatever." It's like, no, it wasn't. He got caught. He thought it was gone on it because I'm like you. I said that's at least a triple.
Yeah.
And then I see him standing on second, and they showed it. No, he pimped that one the whole way down. He was around first base before he ever started running on it.
I will say,
but I mean, hats off to him. I mean, like I said, he's not the first. He won't be the last on it. He made a mistake. It happens. Yeah. Not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Anybody wants to crucify him over it. You don't win the ball game tonight if not for him. Mm-hmm. You don't win the ball game not for Brandon Arvidsson. Both of them did make mistakes. Arvidsson with the pick on it. Keelan with pimping one. Guess what? We still win the ball game. I don't pay attention to social media a lot. I guarantee you people slam both of them over it on it. It's we're not in that game without those 2 guys. Brandon Arvidsson, oh my gosh, what a performance from him tonight. That was huge. Hopefully he builds on that. And then, like I said, Keelan had 2 hits. They could not have come at more clutch times. The home run in the 10th and then that double in the 12th. And really, it ended up, though, if he would have gotten a triple, it ended up, thankfully, it didn't matter because Fisher struck out and then Inslee grounded out to end the inning. So, yeah, the announcer said Keelan's favored his leg. Yeah, he was favoring it, all right. It's because he pimped that one. That's why he favored it. But heck of a job by him. Heck of a job tonight. I wanted to hit one here. Clark was 0 for 3, had a couple strikeouts, but he got hit by a pitch once. And, yeah, he had a really good at bat where he got a walk, and then Cannon Peebles got a base hit, and I thought it was big. Then Manny Marin come up and sacrificed both of them over. That was pretty big, and I think at that point when Clark walked is when they pinch ran Jay Abernathy for him. So they covered all their bases there, but they just they rolled right along, and Keelan come through. The bottom line is the bottom of the order when we needed them the most, they came through. They got it to our top. That's why you put your main guys at the top of the order, because when the bottom comes through, you've got your dudes at the top to get it done. And we've debated on, different guys lead off. This is the Keelan we need at lead off, what we saw today. When we needed him the most, he came through on it. Big time performance from these guys, both games. And, almost run ruled Alabama yesterday. Got behind 4-0 today, took care of business today as well. So this team is off tomorrow. They will play Saturday. They play the winner, Vanderbilt versus Oklahoma. I want Vanderbilt. I want Vanderbilt again. And again, if I'm a Tennessee player, I want Vanderbilt again as well. Because, in my opinion, Vanderbilt punked you. They walked off your field talking trash after they took 2 out of 3 from you. And really, it shouldn't have happened. So, if you don't want revenge against Vanderbilt, go back to where you're from on it. And I know I'm not a player, but I don't know. Maybe that's the in-state part of me. Maybe that's just a Tennessee fan of me. I'm sure you, as a double alum now, freshly bachelor's, now master's degree, I'm sure you feel probably even stronger about it than I do. But any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up tonight?
Great win. Job's not done, though. So got to get the job done on Saturday. And then Sunday, of course, you need to get the job done there as well. But if you play Vanderbilt on Saturday, you just can't lose that one. It's a huge one. If you win against Vanderbilt, there's no argument. Tennessee should absolutely host if you beat Vandy. Great win. Great to see the comeback. Great to see this team play Tony Vitello baseball for the first time in months, essentially. Great win. So just enjoy it. We get a day off tomorrow. You don't have to stress on your Friday. First time in a while, you won't have to have to stress on a Friday regarding Tennessee baseball. So enjoy tomorrow while you got it, because in a month or two from now, you won't get it. It'll be another off season. So just enjoy it while you can. Enjoy tomorrow. There'll be a bunch of great baseball games on tomorrow you can watch. So just get ready for 1 o'clock on Saturday.
There are no stress-free games the rest of the season if you're a Tennessee baseball fan. Because if you're at the semis, you're playing. I don't care if you're playing Vandy or Oklahoma. You don't want to lose at this point. You've come this far. Just keep on winning. Just keep on keeping on. So he's Kerry. This is Frank. Make sure you hit the like, the share, the subscribe. I've not checked it here. Coming in 5 away from 4,000. Hit that subscribe button. It is free. It does notify you when we go live on this. I'll be live Saturday after the game. Be live the rest of the way for baseball, barring anything unforeseen. Monday, I've not seen it at this point. Normally on Monday, they release the tournament brackets around noon. So I'm going live on that one as well, as after about 12:30 tomorrow, old Frank is on vacation for about almost 3 months. So we're going to roll with that one. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate Kerry jumping on here tonight on short notice. Last but not least, it's always a great day to wear that orange.